Finn, a black and white border collie, arrived at Sarah's apartment a whirlwind of intelligence and energy. His eyes, bright with curiosity, promised a loyal companion. But within weeks, that same brilliant mind began to unravel. Finn, a dog bred for wide open spaces, was struggling to adapt to his new, confined world. His frustration mounted, and soon, so did the chaos. The apartment, Sarah soon realized, was a stark contrast to the vast landscapes Finn's breed was built to roam. His immense energy, once a charming trait, now felt overwhelming in the confined space. He paced restlessly, a black and white blur, his focused gaze scanning the small rooms as if searching for an invisible flock to herd. He'd circle the coffee table, then the sofa, then the kitchen island, his fluffy tail twitching with unfulfilled drive, a constant visual of his internal tension. The distant city hum and the close walls seemed to amplify his restlessness. Sarah sensed a deep underlying frustration she couldn't yet articulate, a quiet worry overshadowing her initial joy as the reality of his needs in this urban environment truly began to sink in. The initial honeymoon phase quickly faded into growing unease. Finn started with minor mischief, a chewed slipper, its sole systematically dismantled, then a nudged-over trash can spilling coffee grounds. Remote controls bore distinct gnaw marks on their rubberized ends. A throw pillow, once plump, soon bore a suspicious, neatly torn seam. Sarah initially dismissed it as typical puppy behavior, easily corrected. She tried redirecting him with various durable chew toys, but they held his intense interest for only a short time. He would gnaw for a few minutes, then look up, his sharp eyes still searching. His brilliant mind constantly sought more challenging, often destructive stimulation than a simple rubber bone could ever provide. Sarah's attempts to manage Finn felt increasingly futile. She extended their walks, adding extra loops around the park, even a short jog, hoping to exhaust his boundless energy. They spent hours outside, throwing balls and running, yet he always returned with the same unspent drive. She diligently practiced basic commands, rewarding him for every sit and stay, trying to engage his mind. Finn mastered them with alarming speed, but the mental engagement was fleeting. Back inside the apartment, he remained restless, his sharp eyes darting, his body coiled. Sarah watched him, a knot forming in her stomach, realizing that for a border collie, physical exercise alone was simply not enough. His brilliant mind required a deeper, more constant and complex challenge. Finn's intelligence, a trait Sarah once admired, began to manifest in increasingly destructive ways. He wasn't just chewing, he was actively problem-solving. Sarah started finding cabinet doors ajar, cereal boxes pulled from lower shelves and systematically torn open, their contents scattered. Even the carefully hidden treat jar, placed on a higher shelf, was somehow overturned, its lid removed. He seemed to meticulously dismantle anything within reach, from the remote control's battery cover to the woven basket's intricate pattern, his focused determination unsettling. It was as if his brilliant mind, starved of its true purpose, was finding creative new outlets for his overwhelming, unchanneled energy, turning innate curiosity into escalating chaos. As days turned into weeks, the small nuisances escalated dramatically. Finn began barking incessantly at every distant siren, passing shadow and subtle creak. His barks were sharp, demanding, echoing relentlessly through the thin apartment walls, often drawing polite, then less polite, complaints from neighbors. Notes were slipped under Sarah's door, and hushed conversations in the hallway grew more frequent. He would wake Sarah multiple times a night, panting and agitated, unable to settle, convinced a threat lurked just beyond the window. Her once peaceful home felt like a high-stress zone, her patience wearing thin, her nerves frayed by the constant noise and Finn's palpable anxiety. Sarah's daily life became a tightrope walk of anxiety. Leaving for work meant a knot in her stomach, imagining what new chaos awaited her return. She'd rush home on her lunch break, only to find a new mess, a new tear, a new item damaged. The apartment, once her sanctuary, now felt like a battleground. Her sleep was fractured, her concentration at work suffered, and the simple joy of coming home was replaced by a familiar dread. The vibrant, loyal companion she'd envisioned seemed lost, replaced by a destructive force that was slowly, relentlessly eroding her peace of mind and the sanctity of her urban home. Desperate, Sarah bought every puzzle toy she could find, filling them with treats, hoping to engage Finn's formidable intellect. He would solve them in minutes, then push them aside, looking for the next challenge. She enrolled him in an advanced obedience class, which he mastered almost instantly, performing with precision, only to return home to the same restless energy. She even tried doggy daycare for a few days, but Finn's intense herding instinct often overwhelmed the other dogs, nipping at heels and circling relentlessly, and he came home more agitated than tired. Nothing seemed to truly channel his boundless mental and physical drive, leaving Sarah feeling increasingly helpless. One particularly exhausting Tuesday morning, Sarah returned from her shift to find utter devastation. The living room was a war zone. Pillows were shredded beyond recognition, synthetic stuffing scattered like a blizzard across the floor, clinging to every surface. Books pulled from shelves lay ripped and dog-eared, some pages torn out completely, a cherished first edition among them, its cover mangled. Her antique wooden coffee table leg bore distinct deep teeth marks, splintered and ruined, a permanent scar. It was a shocking tableau of destruction, far beyond any previous mischief, and Sarah felt a wave of despair wash over her, a bitter taste of defeat in her mouth. Finn, usually greeting her at the door with eager tail wags, was nowhere to be seen. Sarah found him cowering under the bed, his body trembling, eyes wide with a mixture of fear and guilt. His tail was tucked tight, his ears flattened, a clear sign of his own profound distress, a stark contrast to his usual vibrant energy. He wouldn't meet her gaze, instead pressing himself further into the shadows. Seeing him so broken amidst the chaos, Sarah's heart sank. The sight confirmed her worst fears. Finn was not just mischievous or defiant. He was deeply troubled, a victim of his own unfulfilled instincts and overwhelming anxiety, crying out for help in the only way he knew how. What challenges have you faced with your high-energy dog? Share your stories and tips in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Snug Tales for more heartwarming stories of canine loyalty and transformation. Hit the notification bell so you never miss an episode and join our community of dog lovers.